to a place that you basically kind of grew up as a young man at.
Would you have expected a year or two ago when you were in the NFL that you'd be back here now?
No, you just kind of, being in the NFL or college football, you don't know what path you're in or taking. So it's just kind of, those things work out at the right time. Sometimes you can want to come, but the timing is not right, or it's not a opportunity, but the job is open at that point. So it kind of has worked out this way. So it ended up being a great opportunity to get back home.
What have these first few weeks been like, getting used to college and getting used to recruiting again?
Just getting back adjusted to it. It's a little different when I first was doing it out on the road. But once you get back into the flow of things, man, it's all about relationships, and it's all about just getting back into the flow of it. So it's been a smooth process so far.
What were those first conversations with Ryan Day like, and what were your impressions of him, and how it's been to work with him, so far?
Oh, well, it's been great. Like, first, I like to to thank Coach Day for giving me the opportunity to come back. And it's been awesome so far. The opportunity that he gave me has been a blessing. Talking to him has been outstanding, man. I mean, he's a very thorough guy. Obviously he's a smart people's person, family guy. So everything was positive. Obviously being here, a lot of guys that he know of me. So that crossover there with knowing some of the same people, makes it a good fit for us.
And what about Coach Eliano, working hand in hand with him this year, with the secondary? What was your level of familiarity maybe with him and the coaching profession in general? And then
I had already knew up here, because like I said, being in this coaching profession for a while, man, that a lot of the same people. So I've been knowing him for a while. I hadn't had a chance to work with him before, but I've been knowing him. So it was good to get back. The thing about coaches, man, a lot of guys know a lot of the same people. So even though you don't necessarily work with them, you become friends with them and getting to know people throughout the journey of the coaching life.
Tim, how much different was it these past 3 weeks recruiting than it was in 2007? Obviously, college football has changed in an infinite number of ways, but it does always come down to relationships, right? And just being a person. But still, it has to just feel different. You got to be talking about different things than you did 15 years ago.
Yeah, because now it's such a social media, Instagram, Twitter. It's kind of that era now, and back then it was a lot more basic. And just getting back into the fact that getting on kids a lot earlier. Just the mindset of them. But it's been the relationships are relationships. That part never changes. So if you develop relationships with guys and at a place like this, the school sells itself. With the opportunity that presents itself for a lot of kids to want to come here, to get back and be able to sell that to kids based on being my alma mater, that's a great feeling. But it's still about relationships and just getting to know people and just getting back into a flow of it. But it was a good experience the first couple weeks.
Last I checked, you still don't have a Twitter account.
No,
is that in the contract? Like Tim Walton will not have a Twitter?
No, I will have it up soon. I will have one up soon.
Tim, what do you think are the biggest things you learned from all these years coaching in the NFL that you can now bring back here to Ohio State?
Well, just playing the long game. I was in college before, and then, like I said, been in over a decade in the NFL. Just teaching guys technique and fundamentals that can last them. Because most of them won't have a chance to play on Sundays. So giving them the foundation that can make that journey into the NFL long lasting.
Having played here, do you think that helps you kind of adjust back because you know what it's like to be in these guys' shoes?
Yeah, it does help to actually play, here on this turf and practice here in this building, and then they try to give some of that experience to them. That's a good, benefit to be able to have to use as a selling point. The kids that want to play here, to actually play the game, and then coaching in the NFL helps that transition to them because they all want to have that opportunity. So it's kind of a good mix.
Were there any coaches while you were here that particularly inspired you to want to follow in your coaching path?
Well, we had a lot of guys that I've I had some, Fred Puckett, he coached. And then went on to the NFL. He coached here at Ohio State, coached into the NFL. Ron Zook was here. Obviously, Gary Blackney recruited me and went on to become a college head coach. You know, so all those guys, Zook became an NFL assistant coach and a collegiate head coach. So, you know, so all those guys that I played for inspired me to want to take that journey and have those opportunities later in life.
Coach, what was communicated to you in those conversations with Ryan Day, maybe about what needs to change in this program from last year to this year on the back end and in the secondary, especially?
Well, we didn't get into the details of that. Basically, it was just more of, you know, me coming in and developing the guys and getting a relationship with the guys, and me, you know, being a former player here, getting a chance to do that. You know, like I said, I've been in college before, and then I, you know, the last decade been in the NFL, so it was just more of getting a chance to, you know, to come back and get a chance to work here. He was excited about it. I'm definitely excited about it, you know, but it's really didn't get into a lot of details of those things, just more of the teaching, you know, of trying to prepare those guys at the highest level.
And then what about maybe some of your